We all have that one crazy vegan, gluten-free, grain-free person in our family that we want to make cookies for, right? I'm that person. So today in this video, I'm going to share with you 2 recipes. One is vegan, raw vegan, gluten-free, grain-free, and the other one is just fun. It's from my grandma. This is a virtual cookie exchange hosted by Ashley over at Joyful Noise Learning. So check out the link down in the description box below so you can get some more cookie recipes. This is a pretty easy one, and this is however you want to make it, and you can use whatever you want to use. Now I went to the store and I bought some regular trail mix. It had chocolate in it, it has nuts in it, it has raisins. I stuck it in the Vitamix and it looks like this. It wasn't anything special, it was probably processed. I'm gonna also blend in some dates with it. You don't always have to use this if you are cooking for someone who eats raw. You can get a bag of raw almonds and pecans. It's a really good idea to soak these before you blend them. The recipe does call for pecans, so you can also use these. Always a good idea to soak your nuts. If you can't, I mean, of course you're not gonna die, but it just makes it a lot easier for you to digest when you do soak them. And at the end, we're gonna roll them around in some coconut. You could also add some honey too. This is the raw almonds. I did not soak these, but just to give you an idea, it's gonna be a lot more wet if you do soak them. Now the consistency between these 3 groups of nuts is very, very different. This one is the raw, non-soaked, and it's very powdery. This one actually had chocolate in it, so it's a lot easier to just kind of roll up into a ball. Now the reason I think they asked for pecans is because I think there's a little bit more oil in it and they stick together easier. So this one is pecans. Now we're gonna add some dates. You could use dates, you could use raisins, you can use figs, you could use whatever you want that is a dried fruit that's kind of sticky. Those are the 3 main ones. You could use also dried apricots, whatever you want. But do know that if you use dates and they're not pitted, you're gonna need to pit them before you stick them in the Vitamix. And yes, they do look like miniature little cockroaches. You may need to add a little bit of water because dates are pretty intense with their stickiness. I wanted to show you the consistency. Like I said, I put a little bit of water in it, but you can kind of see it's very well mashed up and none of the skin survived. While Hannah gets the coconut ready, we're gonna mix in some of these dates.
Yeah, it's raining coconut from under the sky.
And now you actually have to get your hands dirty. Roll it up in a ball. Can you hand me that coconut? And roll it around. If you've been following us for any time, you know that we've been really working on sensory processing and finding new textures and new things to touch. I think this is just a great activity for sensory processing with the licking and the tasting.
I messed up on my ball.
Naomi, do you want to try and make a ball? You just want to eat it? Yeah? Is it good?
No.
You ate that whole thing. You are going to be running around the house screaming in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Another little trick I learned is if you get your hands wet before you start rolling the ball, it doesn't make as much of a mess in your hand. You got some on there? I think too that this is a very pliable recipe, so even if you don't make balls, you make squares like brownies, you can totally do that. Maybe just add some unvitamixed nuts in there too to make it a little crunchy. You could put some peanut butter in there. Just kind of play with this recipe because when it's sweet, you really can't go wrong. Here they are, the final product. As you can see, some of them didn't really make the cut. That's okay, because they got eaten. And for a quick tip, throw them in the freezer, but do check with your relative that's raw vegan. They may not like it frozen, so just kind of double check with that. But if you stick them in the freezer, they're not as chewy and they don't fall apart as easily. They're really good though. So now I'm going to make some forget-me-not cookies that my grandmother used to make, and this is a very, very delicate recipe, and I hope I can make it. But what you're gonna need is some eggs with egg whites, some sugar, some lemon or cream of tartar or vinegar, and salt. So the first thing you wanna do is get some egg whites. Set your oven to 200 degrees bake, and just let it preheat and get ready. So as you can see what it looks like. Now this is the part where you really need a little kid to help you, because you're gonna start putting in the sugar slowly as you whisk. For this batch, I am gonna put a little bit of vanilla and literally 1 drop of peppermint. So be very careful with the peppermint, you may not like it, but this 1 drop of essential oil, I can smell it like crazy. Hopefully it tastes as good as it smells. Next, I'm gonna take a plastic bag. I did cut the corner off right here, and I'm gonna scoop it into the bag. Now honestly, I did not have any parchment paper, and parchment paper is so much better to use overall, but I'm using aluminum foil. Now I'm gonna play around a little bit with this and add some chocolate and sprinkles to give it that kind of peppermint chocolate chip feel. Now I can see you arranging these however you like. You can make like little Santa beards, or you could add some red food coloring to it to make it kind of look like peppermint striped, or even some like green and red, or even some blue and white to give it that Hanukkah feel. Maybe make it like up a point, make it look like a candle. I don't know, there's a lot of room to just kind of work with it and make it your own design. I'm gonna also add some sprinkles, see how this looks. On this last row, I'm gonna do M&Ms. So now I'm gonna pop them in the oven for an hour and see what they look like when they come out. You can just kind of play with this, and I did mention you can do little designs. I thought of another one like a snowman. That would be super cute. But what's really important is that you get that fluffy white whipped cream thing going. It's really easy to mess up. In fact, I actually did this recipe and messed up. It looks like this.
Are you gonna make it?
And it's because I didn't do it right. I put it all wrong, and I used the same ingredients. It just, nope.
What is cream?
Just really runny. I feel like maybe there should be some more sugar.
It tastes like marshmallow, but with chocolate chips and peppermint.
Does it taste like a peppermint chocolate chip cookie?
Yes. Can I have another one?
Do check out the playlist down below in the description box, the virtual cookie exchange, which is hosted by my dear friend Ashley over at Joyful Noise Learning. If you liked this video, make sure to give us a big thumbs up, and also check out our channel. We're a homeschool family of 4 with a daughter with special needs, and I do share with you our journey, what we're learning, tips that I've learned from teaching in the public school system, as well as our experience in therapies with my daughter. So I'll stick some videos around my face right now, and I think you might like them, so go ahead and check them out. If you're not gonna check these out, check out that playlist down below. And until then, I will see you guys in our next video. Bye. so you can get some more cookie recipes. So you can get some more cookie